Dexter Resurrection has delivered so far. The way it delivered feels a little bit icky, yet it's still delivered. So I am going through this existential crisis as I am watching between, yes, I am hooked, I want more, this is great, and I see what you're doing there. You're using the same old playbook on me, and it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel right. Why are you doing this? Why couldn't you find other, more maybe intelligent, more witty ways to get me hooked on the show? My main grievances are with the character of Harrison and how they used the same basic principles that they used in the original show to make us like Dexter on Harrison now. It's almost like the writers realized that we, the collective Dexter fandom, did not like Harrison's character in New Blood, and they scratched that and they went back to using the same basic principles that they used on Dexter in season 1, episodes 1 and 2, to make us like him and to humanize him, just copy paste onto Harrison to make us like the character of Harrison, which feels icky. It feels like they're trying to lay one on us. Is that the expression? Anyway, I see what's going on, and I'm, again, I am loving the show so far. I like how the character of Harrison is written now. I don't necessarily condone that you're using the same trickery on us that you used back like 15 years ago. Same playbook, going back to basics, in the words of one of my favorite TV characters, Eleanor Shellstrop, ya basic. So Dexter writers, ya basic. You went back to basics. Basically, I'm using basic a lot to make us like Harrison. So here's how that makes sense for me. The character of Elsa is Rita from season 1. Elsa seems to be a very sweet, very honest, hardworking, kind of like genuine type of person, very similar to Rita. Rita had 2 kids that needed a parental figure, well, a father figure. Elsa has a boy, a child, who needed a father figure, and she often needs help with babysitting and watching him and helping him with schoolwork, which Harrison has been doing. So we have the Rita formula here repeated. Rita in season 1, Elsa in Dexter Resurrection. The other factor that made us really like Dexter right away from the pilot episode of the original show was that the very first kill that Dexter had was a child in the original show. Episode 1, Dexter is hunting a child killer, child murderer. Dexter Resurrection, Harrison's first kill, is a person who was about to assault a damsel in distress. So here they're creating this vigilante anti-hero type of character that you will very naturally root for, because he is saving. Dexter saved children and Harrison saved damsels in distress. Same exact formula. It worked. I mean, I guess if it ain't broken, don't fix it. Is that the expression? But it still feels weird that you're using the same formula on us and that you haven't come up with something more creative or original, or maybe developed the character arc a little bit more to make him likable and stand on his own, as opposed to just a clone to Dexter. We're also not very sure how old Harrison is, how old Elsa is. She has a child. I don't know how old the child is either. Is he 3? Is he 5? How young was she when she had him? Is she much older than Harrison? Is Harrison even of consensual age? What's going on there? We're not really sure what's happening, but we needed a Rita, so we got a Rita, you know? The other icky parallel use of an old formula on a new plot line happened in episode 4 with the introduction of the character of Mia. Mia, a gorgeous woman with long black hair very much like the character of Lila in season 2, I believe, of the original show. And then we have a callback to the same scene where in the original show, Dexter and Lila are in the same hotel room, and she goes to shower and she leaves the door open and he gets the peek through and there's sexual tension building. Same exact scene. She goes into the shower, there's sexual tension. We are, as the audience, we are kind of hooked and we want to see some sort of completion. That feels also icky. It doesn't feel like an earned tension between the characters. It was rushed. The development of their relationship didn't make sense and it was quite rushed. So to me, at least, I understand why Dexter would gravitate toward the character of Mia, Lady Vengeance. He heard that she only kills rapists or something like that. So he was questioning and wondering if she has a code, if she has some higher moral standard like he does, if she holds herself up to. And he hears a little bit about her backstory. So he's empathizing a little bit with her character. But, a major but, all in capitals, there's no reason for Mia's character to be attracted to who she thinks is the dark passenger, the backseat killer, Red, or whatever we want to call him. There's no reason for her to be attracted to him unless she just went by mere looks. He looks good, so she's attracted to him. There's no other reason for her to have any interest or any attraction whatsoever toward his character. So that is missing. And then for them to just cheaply create this kind of like sexual tension between them to get us hooked and get us kind of like eager for some sort of a completion happening there was just, it didn't make sense and it wasn't earned at all. I am not even close to being done with parallels. Well, maybe I am close for now. But the other character parallel is Claudet and Deb. Yes, you're probably going to hate me for saying that. They're not alike in many ways, but we have this badass, very intelligent cop character in both women, very similar to Deb. They both have their own quirks. Deb's quirks were swearing and, being a potty mouth. And Claudette's quirks are, I don't know, are they trying to make her seem to be autistic or something like that? I am a licensed mental health counselor and I really dislike that they're using every stereotype in the book about autistic people and putting them, kind of like forcing them onto the character of Claudette. I'm gonna need to see more of her, but so far it feels very stereotypical and icky, and I'm not liking it because it's not. If they're trying, it seems to me that they're trying to force her character to be an autistic character. From episode 1 or 2, with her blurting out, "Oh, people tell me that I have an issue displaying empathy," to it, complete stereotype, to her having to wear headphones to focus and listen to the same song over and over, to her in episode 4 talking about fixation, hyperfixation on certain topics. I think they're going for an autistic character, but they're kind of like checking the boxes of every stereotype, which can be pretty harmful and just perpetuates stereotypical misunderstanding of autistic people who fall on a wide, beautiful, colorful, nuanced spectrum of behavioral patterns and personality traits and personalities. And so I'm not liking that. But going back to the idea of the parallels, they are trying to display, I feel like there's a clear parallel there between, a badass woman. I also don't like the way the actor is portraying the character. It seems quite kind of like robotic. Also, going back to how infuriating it is to me to portray an autistic character as a robot, pretty much. Again, perpetuating harmful stereotypes about the autistic community. But anyway, The character of Claudet is a parallel to Deb. The character of Elsa is a parallel to Rita. The character of Mia is a parallel to Lila. And I'm still watching. I am complaining at the same time. I mean, I do not condone using the same exact stuff from the past. It's almost like this same plot line, but different people. But I'm still loving it. I'm hooked. I love watching Michael C. Hall and do his thing. And so far, so good. So here's my prediction here about what's going to happen given the previous, given the parallels and that they're using the same formula from the past, and some foreshadowing that's been happening in the last couple of episodes. So we have a big issue. The big issue is that Harrison committed a murder, was sloppy about it, and now the kind of like it's narrowing down on him and on Dexter. And Harrison in episode 4 was about to go to the police to confess, was stopped by Dexter in the nick of time. The interesting thing and where I see the foreshadowing here is that Harrison killed a serial rapist from what we've seen. So, and at the same time, what we know about Lady Vengeance is that is her population of interest. That is the people that she murders. Going back to season 2 playbook, Dexter falls in love with Lila, or falls in infatuation or toxic whatever it is with Lila, but then has to sacrifice her to save the kids, to save Aster and Cody. And this season, Dexter is going to be faced with the same dilemma. To save Harrison, they're going to have to pin the murder on Lady Vengeance because it fits her MO. What doesn't fit her MO is then obviously the chopped up into 9 pieces. They're going to have to figure out a way to kind of make that make sense or fit within her MO. Maybe she was getting some inspo from the Bay Harbor Butcher or something like that. But they have a clear getaway card, get out of jail card, which is Mia. They have the victim's watch, which they can plant into Mia's belongings or something like that. So far, Mia hadn't been discovered, which is something else, and a whole other kind of worms that I have about the show, is that the entire time that we've known Dexter, he's had to be very, very careful and going by no body, no crime type of strategy. So when he was the Bay Harbor Butcher, actively, the bodies were never found. So until, they were found. But Dexter's methodical way of disposing of bodies made sure that the crimes weren't being discovered, because again, no body, no crime. Most people that went missing, they thought they just like skipped town or went missing. But now we have multiple serial killers, Rapunzel and that person and Mia and the other person, who are killing people and leaving bodies out in public for an extended period of time, and they're not being caught. So I mean, I know we're in a world of fantasy, but how are these people not getting caught? And how is this not a first topic of conversation during their dinner date type of get together? How are you getting away with murder when you're just leaving your bodies out in the open like that, and people have a name for you, understand your MO? How is it that none of you they keep sliding under the radar? But anyway, so Mia has been getting away with murder for a long time. She's sliding under the radar. Dexter's gonna develop feelings for her, but she's a clear get out of jail card for Harrison. So he's gonna have to pin the murder on Mia to make sure that Harrison gets away with it. All right, let me know what you think about my complaints, my analysis, and my prediction. And leave any comments if you have any thoughts or questions that you'd like to share with me. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.